Amazon stock price was on a rally in 2023, and many investors were surprised to hear my recommendation putting Amazon stock on the top of my list of top stocks to buy in 2024, or I should say it's among the top of my list in top stocks to buy in 2024. And that had a lot of investors also asking me where I thought Amazon stock price could be 2 years from now. They already know I'm bullish about Amazon stock in 2024, and you want to know where I think Amazon stock price will go in 2025. So that's what I'll do in this video. I'll extend out my prediction for Amazon stock one more year. I'll give you my 2025 Amazon stock price prediction. So let's jump into these numbers.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
All right, so to make this estimation, I'm going to need some figures. I'm going to need some facts. I'm also going to need some estimates, and I'm going to make some assumptions. The first number I need is Amazon's current stock price, which is trading at $156.02. I'm going to need this figure right now. You can see its excellent performance since 2023, but it's still not back to the peak it achieved around 2021. I also need Amazon stock price to earnings ratio. Currently, it's trading at a valuation of 80.84. I'm going to need this number. I'm going to use it in a little bit when I make the valuation. I also need Amazon's earnings per share estimate for 2025. So you could see in the fiscal year 2025, which ends in December for Amazon, analysts expect it to deliver earnings per share of $4.78. I'm going to use this number. Remember, this is a consensus estimate from analysts that are following Amazon stock. These are Wall Street analysts that follow Amazon stock. They submit their forecast for where they think Amazon stock price will be in 2025. Where they think their earnings per share will be in 2025. And then this is an average among all of those numbers. So let's go into the model. All right, so here I have Amazon's valuation estimate for 2025. You could see earlier I did the estimate for 2024. That video is on my channel. I will also link to it at the end of this video. So if you want to see my prediction for 2024, you can see that as well. But for 2025, let me draw your attention down here. I have Amazon's estimated earnings per share at $4.78. Remember, I got this from the consensus estimate over here. I also have Amazon's price to earnings ratio of 81, which I got from its current valuation model. So if its earnings per share comes in as expected in 2025 and its price to earnings stays the same at 81, Amazon's stock price could be $387 per share by the end of 2025, and that would be a more than double the current share price of $156 per share. Now, as bullish as I am on Amazon stock and acknowledging that it is on my list of top stocks to buy, I don't think the stock price is going to double in 2 years. I'm not that bullish on Amazon stock. I think Amazon's price to earnings ratio is going to come down as the company increases its earnings per share over the next couple of years. I think a more realistic outlook is a price to earnings around 40, which could mean that its stock price reaches $191 per share in 2 years' time. Now, things could be much worse and its price to earnings could fall to 35, which would mean the stock price stays relatively flat at $167 per share, up a little bit from the $156 per share. But if things get really bad for Amazon and investors are only willing to pay a price to earnings of 30 for Amazon stock, its stock price could fall to $143 per share. Now, out of all of these estimates, if you were to ask me where I think Amazon stock price will be by the end of 2025, I suspect the stock price will be somewhere in the range of $190 per share to $200 per share. So I think the valuation is going to fall to a price to earnings around 40, which would bring its valuation to around 190 to 200. I don't want to get too precise because after all, I am making estimates using several assumptions, and it's an imprecise calculation to begin with. So I don't want to make the error of pretending like this is something that's going to be precise. This is an estimate, so I'm giving a range here, 190 to 200. This is what I've done with my previous stock price prediction videos as well. Now, you might be asking, what's going to cause the valuation to increase or decrease? What are the factors that could play into this valuation increase or decrease? For Amazon, the big thing that jumps out all the time with Amazon is pay attention to the AWS segment. The AWS segment revenue growth flatlined, or I should say leveled out, right? For several consecutive quarters, its growth rate on AWS was falling. And in the most recent quarter, it stayed flat. It went from 12% to 12%. And if that turns upward and continues moving upward, that's going to cause an increase in the valuation, because the AWS segment generates operating profit margins around 30%, and the rest of the business doesn't achieve an operating profit margin of anywhere near 10%. So the AWS segment is the most profitable segment for Amazon. When that segment grows at a faster rate, investors become more enthusiastic about Amazon stock, and they will be willing to pay a higher valuation for Amazon stock. So everything considered, that's the number one factor that I think will determine Amazon's valuation going forward. Other factors include the rate of growth in its e-commerce business, most specifically the rate of growth in the international business. Surprisingly, international has lagged behind the North American business, and it's achieved profitability for a few quarters, but not consistently enough. If that segment can return to profitability consistently and demonstrate economies in scale where the operating profit margin continues moving higher, I think that too will play an important factor for Amazon stock investors and their willingness to pay a premium price for Amazon stock. Now, one of the surprising factors that's coming in to play an important role for Amazon is its advertising business. Amazon has sneakily built up a strong advertising business that's generating billions in revenue, and that segment is also profitable, although Amazon has not specifically broke out the profit margins in the advertising segment. If we look at other ad-supported businesses, we can kind of approximate that advertising revenue is lucrative, is strong in terms of double-digit at least profitability. And so if advertising continues to grow at an above double-digit percentage for the next 8 quarters, so by the end of 2025, if it's still growing at a double-digit rate, I think that will also play a positive factor in Amazon's valuation. Nevertheless, I will be following Amazon stock closely throughout this time. I'll provide multiple updates to this valuation. Thank you for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. I know there's a lot you could be doing with your time and a lot of other videos you could be watching. So I truly appreciate that you chose to watch this one. If you want to see more videos just like this, hit the subscribe or the like button. They'll both help me make more videos just like this one. Thank you again.